80s night has come to an end, and here are some of my thoughts. If you like photos with characters and you don't mind waiting in really long lines and you want to pump up your Instagram, this is an event for you. So it's like a half an hour before the event starts, and the line to meet the Ewoks is crazy, like insane. The whole length of the Star Trader, a whole interior room.
Maybe a little later. My vote is to go.
An insane amount of people waiting to meet the Ewoks. You could eat up a good 90 minutes of your evening trying to meet Ewoks. Not that I don't love Ewoks, not that I don't think that they're great, but that's a lot of your time spent meeting them. Aside from character meet and greets, there were also set up photo opportunities in select locations to help you capture yourself in the 80s. Radical. Easily my favorite was this vintage Disneyland map. Guys, I found Richard Simmons. The party lasts 4 hours, so you'd have to pick your photo opportunities wisely, because many of the lines would take 45 minutes to an hour to get through. If I were to stand in any line, and I didn't, this would have been the one that I chose. Seeing C-3PO walk through the Galaxy's Edge for my first time was beyond exciting. And I would love to have this photo, but I choose to spend my 4 hours doing other stuff, just taking laps around the park, capturing the magic. But how cool is this to see? More of this, please. And this was by far the biggest thing happening in the Galaxy's Edge. Quite a line those two droids worked up. Quite a line. The one that kind of surprised me the most was this Ariel meet and greet. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but this is a character that's in the park quite often and had a very dense line for the entire evening. Mickey was up front on Main Street, and in the back corner of the park you could find Burr, Rabbit, and Critter Country. Every single photo opportunity had a packed line for the entire 4 hours. And hey, no judgment, I was just on the hunt for something different. I was on the hunt to find Captain EO, and I found him. If you're from out of town and you want to ride as many rides as they have open with 5-minute waits, this is for you. So let's say that you're not crazy about whatever the After Dark theme is. These parties have become notorious for a way to get private access to the park. Not all rides will be open, but the ones that are, you're waiting 5-10 minutes to get on anything you want. You also just detect a way different vibe from the cast members, like this young man that I busted having fun with his lightsaber. Autopia, walk on. Nemo, walk on. Nearly every attraction I went to, you could just walk on. One guy even asked, "Can I get on Pirates?" because he was the only person in the line. 2 people on their own boat going through Small World. Adults only on Dumbo. When's the last time you saw that? Most of the people are in these huge lines for photo opportunities. So if you don't care about character photos, you can pretty much ride anything that's open. That being said, not everything's open. For example, you're not coming here and getting on Rise of the Resistance with minimal waiting. That would have been amazing. I would have paid $109 just to do that, but it's not happening. Not tonight anyways. Behind me is an insane line of people waiting to get into Star Wars Launch Bay to buy merchandise. So you've paid $109 to come to the event. And now you're gonna spend a lot of the time waiting in line to spend more money. God bless Disney fans. If you came looking for a lot of 80s nostalgia, people showed up looking for the 80s. I would guesstimate that probably 60 to 70% of everyone there was dressed up for the theme. But Disney, they went a little light on the 80s vibe, maybe taking on too much of the park at once. But the spots they did have were really a good time. This event didn't sell out, so it was a little sparse in the attendance. But the 80s vibe, the music, the opportunity to dance on Main Street or in front of the Small World Promenade, these are Disney nights that you'll remember for the rest of your life. And for that, I'm thankful and grateful. Even though they were late to start, the projections were fantastic. Added such an 80s dimension to the party. Over on the Rivers of America, they had a live band that was doing cover songs, playing hits from the decade. But I think the real star of the 80s vibes were projections on Small World, Sleeping Beauty, and Matterhorn. Seeing these icons look like giant trapper keepers moving to the beat of the music that was playing, it's pretty awesome. If all of Main Street had the same decor, with a little extra vibing, could have really taken the party from good to great. But once again proving, no two trips to Disneyland are ever the same. Videopolis was amazing. That alone saved the entire night for me. That's something I never got to experience before. That was truly Disney magic of them bringing something back to life. Videopolis saved 80s Night for me. I'm being critical about some aspects of 80s Night, so you can believe my honest opinion when I tell you the Videopolis was fantastic. This is something that I had dreamed about seeing, and seeing it come to life was just as perfect as what I thought. I grew up in the 80s, I loved MTV, and now I love Disneyland. Putting those two ideas together is just an emotional overload for me. The music was great. 80s alternative, a little bit of pop, showing people dancing on these video boards as well as music videos. And if you have a keen, trained eye, you can tell this is the Mickey's Magical Map video boards. This is the exact same theater and stage that they used to put on that show. Pulling from their own history to bring something back to life, this was the big win. And when the Disneyland dancers came out and filled the stage up with perfectly costumed outfits, all the right dance moves, it felt like a time machine. This is one to remember.
This is wild. This is something that I always dreamed of doing at Disneyland, was going to Videopolis. And tonight, I did
it. So I'm telling you right now, Videopolis is the hit of tonight. I mean, cast members partying, guest partying, like everybody is just losing it at Videopolis. And for me, that's always been a dream of mine, is to get to go to one of those. Ever since I knew that that was a thing, I absolutely fell in love with that concept. So out of all the things I've seen tonight, that's the most magical. So the interesting thing about 80s Night is there's just these dead pockets. It's like raging in one part of the park, and then it's dead in the other. As much as I love an empty Disneyland, for the sake of party theming, I almost wish they would have just designated it to specific lands. You know, a more condensed party feels more like a party. I mean, look at it this way. You ever been to a party where the room's too big and nobody's really feeling the vibe? A little bit like that. But when you go to the spots where it's bumping, it's really bumping. A critique. Because Adventureland, Frontierland, the Galaxy's Edge were all just dead zones. Many of the signature attractions were closed. How you doing? I mean, if you walk through it, yeah, it's great being in Disneyland when it's quiet and there's no one around. But it did break the party atmosphere. I'm telling you, I don't know how successful this was as an 80s party. But if you were coming in from out of town and you wanted access to the park, you got it. Look at me, Galaxy's Edge. Nobody around me. I mean, Rise of the Resistance isn't open, but still, this empty space, unmatched. And also because the party had such a staggering start, it was a little weird because a party means that it's a party, that it's a good time. And this one was a little slow to get rolling. But all of that being said, the Disney After Dark Party Series is a fantastic way to see the park in a way that many people never get to. A quiet or emptier park is fantastic. And so therefore, if you're coming in from out of town, I highly recommend making this one of the nights that you visit the park. But keep in mind, you might have to work extra hard to feel the theme. Like, I can't even imagine what a Pixar night's gonna be like. Videopolis was sick. That was 80s. Everybody there was having a great time. That's a Disney moment that I will keep with me forever. And for that alone, it was worth coming. That alone, I felt Disney magic. And I spent my last 45 minutes sitting on a bench, watching Videopolis, thinking, this is Disney bringing something back to life. This is Disney making their magic. And I would pay money just to go and attend that. And for those of you that have thought what I've thought, a Disneyland late night for adults, that was tonight. Very, very few kids, no young kids at all. It was good. I appreciate it. Say no regrets on coming. I had a great time. I really loved the 80s atmosphere was there. Projections on the castle, Small World were fantastic. I have a couple of constructive critiques, but all in all, a good time and worth every penny. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you for hanging out with me. Until the next time I see you, live the magic every single day. Paparazzi.
It's over. What did you think? Lots to talk about. Lots to talk about. I will say this. Getting to see Videopolis was a Disneyland dream fulfilled for me. This alone was amazing. Yeah, totally. The rest, we'll see.